coming up to the trailhead for all of the Liberty Lake hiking, and we're going to be doing the upper loop today, not the Liberty Lake loop that most people are familiar with. Lovely big stand of ponderosa pine as you just start entering the trailhead in a quarter of a mile. We're 1 mile in from the trailhead, and there's a sign that says Edith Hansen Riding Trail. It's very steep going up Edith Hansen for 1 mile, but once you get up to the upper loop, the grade is downward, unlike the lower loop. On the lower loop, as you go south to north, the grade is down. On the upper loop, as you go north to south, the grade is downward. So we're going to do the hard work first and then go on power glide after that. Here's the horse bridge and Liberty Lake Creek. It's running a little low, but it runs all year long, and it's really gorgeous. What do you say, Hide?
Today is a nice day. Cool down.
Upper loop today?
Upper loop. I'm not sure we can make it or not.
Oh, so we've made it every time we've tried, so we'll show them how it works.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the moose.
I've seen a moose on the upper loop, so that's another thing. When you do the upper loop, or anytime you're back in the woods, you should have some bear mace with you. A good thing to have. We're 1.6 miles from the parking lot, and we're at the base of Edith Hansen Horse Trail. The next mile takes us to the lower loop. I believe it's about 900 feet of elevation gain, but very steep. So if you're walking this, be sure to bring plenty of water, at least 2 liters. I've got 3 on me today, and bring something to eat. Don't get caught out here without what you need to sustain yourself if something goes wrong. Here we have some thimbleberries in bloom. When they're nice and red like this, they're actually pretty good, but you gotta catch them just at the right time. So hiking up the Edith Hansen Horse Trail is definitely one of the steeper parts of the park, and hard to tell from video, but this is definitely steep. And there's a little wash on the right side of the trail, and I've been told by people who know that this is definitely bear habitat, and every year in the Liberty Lake Park there are bear sightings. So once again, bear spray is a good thing to have. You may not need it, but you'll be sure glad you have it if you do. So it's hard to tell, but right now Hide is going up one of the steeper parts, and this grade keeps going for quite a while. It's uphill, and this is work. So be ready for to break a sweat, because I guarantee you will. As you reach the top of Edith Hansen Horse Trail, you come to a sign, and it says Liberty Lake Loop. This is the lower loop, and we go stay to the left and follow that for a while. And it's also a sign saying that Bicycles yield to hikers, and hikers and bicycles yield to horsemen. That's how it works here. And there's a gorgeous view of Shasta Butte. It's a little cooler today than it has been, so it's a pretty nice day for hiking. What do you think, Edith? How are you feeling?
Good.
We've done about 700, 800 of the 900 feet to get to the cutoff, and we'll be there shortly. I'll show you what that looks like. Coming up to the cutoff, Edith's going to the right up towards the upper loop and Mica Peak. If you stay to the left, you'll stay on the Liberty Lake Loop Trail. That's to the left, and to the right, more uphill for a mile and a quarter, mile and a half, something like that. Here we go. All right. Wonderfully, we hit a little stretch that is actually level, and it's beautiful forest. It's just pristine and lovely to walk on. And it's true, it's going to only last for a couple hundred yards, but it's my favorite part of the trail. It definitely gives you a break from the constant uphill. It's about a third of the way to where we catch the upper loop. We're just coming to the end of the segment from the lower loop to the upper loop, and this is very important because this is not, there's no markings here. If you're coming from the other direction, you get to this little Y intersection. If you go right, you're going to go back into the park. If you go left, all bets are off. You're going to be lost, and you're not going to go into the park. There's no signage here, so just be aware that when you finish your upper loop, you're going to come to this intersection, you stay to the right. We're at a very important place because if you go to the right and stay to the right, you're going to get on the trail that leads all the way up to Mica View and Mica Peak. This is the place where you want to stay to the left, and you will be on the Liberty Lake Upper Loop. You'll see a bunch of speed bumps, and that's where you're headed. This area is also known as the mud puddle to us locals, because almost year-round you've got this big mud puddle with water in it. Sometimes it dries up, but most of the year you're going to see the mud puddle here, and you'll know that this is the intersection. Easy to get lost here, Hide?
Yes, this is interesting. Oh, they always have a mud.
They always have mud here.
Must be a spring.
Could be a spring, yeah. So once again, if you go to the right, you're going to go up to Mica Peak. And if you stay to the left, you're going to be on the Liberty Lake Loop Upper Trail, the Upper Loop. Well, we've now gone 4.5 miles and just about almost 1,500 feet of elevation gain. And we did the hard work up front. We've got probably another 6-7 miles to go, but for the most part it's either going to be level or a little bit downhill. Like I said, on the upper loop, the slant, the grade is actually north to south is downhill. So the hard work is over, and we should be cruising here pretty well. Okay, there's a slight elevation gain right as you get to the upper loop, but it doesn't last very long, and noticing lots of blowdowns up here. It's amazing you can be out in the wild as fast as you can here at Liberty Lake. Wonderful place. And this upper loop parallels the lower loop, but the lower loop is much more heavily traveled and widely known. Not that many people know or choose this route because it's a lot more work. Well, come across this beautiful fern-covered area in this drainage. Water eventually goes down to Liberty Lake Creek, and you can see there's quite a bit of water on the trail here. It's muddy and not as bad as in spring, but man, it's beautiful. Just virgin timber, it's just gorgeous green. Let's see what it's like downhill here. Oh man, I can't tell you, I could do this every day of my life and be the happiest person. This is awesome. Come to this nice vista. You can see Shasta Butte, Mica Peak, Idaho. Cable Peak is up here, right there. Just beautiful. What do you think, Hide?
I see some people are in the Shasta Peak.
You can see?
Yeah.
I don't think you can see it. Yeah, maybe. It's a long ways away. What is it? Pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay.
We just saw 2 deer jump in front of the trail, and it was real exciting. Unfortunately, didn't have the camera out. Have now come to an intersection. Once again, this is not marked. If you go straight here, you're going to go into Idaho, and you'll come to a big red gate. You'll know when you get there. There's a couple of huge dips that they've built so that mechanized vehicles can't come through, and there's a big red gate, and then you'll be in Idaho. But there's a turnoff that Hide is right at the top of, and that goes back down to the lower loop. Actually, as we have walked down this upper loop, there were 3 places where we could have cut down to the lower loop, but this is actually the real trail. So we're going to head down and we'll show you what that looks like. transitioning down to the lower loop, we come upon the year-round stream. If you had to filter water, you could do it here for sure. Okay, lead on. P-Day has come upon the junction. As you're coming up from the cabin, there's a bunch of signs that say, actually one says, more hiking. And that trail, which is coming up from here, comes to a junction where there's 3 different paths. The actual trail goes to the left. The middle trail will also go to the upper loop, and the right-hand trail also goes to the upper loop. So regardless of which you choose, you're probably not going to get lost. However, if you want to experience the Liberty Lake upper loop, take the left-hand turn, and you'll be rewarded with a beautiful section up to the upper loop. Now completed the Liberty Lake upper loop, we've traversed down to the lower loop, and down this trail it'll take you to the waterfall. There's a sign here which gives you directions back to the parking lot and to the Hughes cabin, which is just up the hill here. And you'll see this sign here that says more hiking. P-Day's headed up in that direction. That's where we just came from. If you want to get to the upper loop and you've just done the waterfall and have come to the cabin, you can follow that trail where it says more hiking and go up to the upper loop and proceed in the opposite direction of what we just showed you. This is pretty amazing. I've hiked this trail many times, and I've never noticed this tree is a nursing tree. And what that means is that this tree was cut and it then rotted, and another tree sprouted in it and is growing out of the old stump. It's called a nursing tree, and it's the first time I've noticed it. Very cool. Just stopped and had a little snack, and we're going to head down through the enchanted forest to the Liberty Lake waterfall. Yeah, this is one of the most beautiful parts of the entire park. And we'll give you a look at it. First, go to a place we call the water slide, which is above the waterfall, and then we'll drop down to the waterfall. Nice stands of cedar in here, ferns, year-round creek running through this drainage. This is one huge tree. Beautiful. Yeah, here we have the water slide. Just beautiful little drainage. And there is a huge cedar tree. Almost to the waterfall.
That's right. Very smooth out. Very difficult to going down.
Yeah, they've definitely worked on the trail. We're just getting ready to drop down into the waterfall area. Go straight down. I've been in this area in the winter and the weather's been 2-3 feet of snow on top of this log all the way down where you can't even see the water cascading. But it's pretty nice now. Here we are at the waterfall. And it's the middle of late July, so not like it's spring runoff where this thing is really blazing, but still very beautiful. Okay, we're on our way back to the switchbacks, and then that'll drop us down into the cedar grove. This is pretty much the same view that we were looking at from the upper loop, but now we're a whole lot lower, and it's still beautiful. Cable Peak once again up there. Alright, we're now approaching the switchbacks, and at the top of the switchbacks we're treated to a very nice view of Liberty Lake and a view of the park as well. We're now entering the cedar grove, coming off the switchbacks. Here's Heat A crossing the bridge. Beautiful day for hiking. The new bridge, they did a really nice job on. And the Cedar Grove, which is Conservancy now. Very beautiful. the car. Probably, it looks like it's like 30s. They've got it chained to the tree so it doesn't walk off somehow. But I've lived in Liberty Lake for 42 years and it's always been here. So, want to go for a ride, Hide?
No, thank you.
Not today.
Hey.
Okay. There's a lot of really cool trees in this park, but this one I really like. It's the fork tree. It's got 4 forks coming up from the big trunk, and you can't miss it because it's right by the first big bridge that crosses Liberty Lake Creek. It's a very new bridge, by the way. Here we are. We're just getting back to the trailhead. This nice marshland for birds. And we've done about 12 miles, so it's been a really good day. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.